Exeter is one of the healthiest places to live in the country. However, that masks the fact that in some of our local areas, people have health outcomes that are among some of the worst in the country. Wellbeing Exeter is a system of community development activities happening right across the city and also in the neighbouring new town of Cranbrook. It's got three constituent parts. The first one is what we call connecting, and this is one-to-one work with individuals where people are supported to focus on the things that matter most to them in their own lives, to achieve goals that they set for themselves and to connect them better into neighbours and community.
So I had my first session with Chris, we connected over the music straight away. That was great for me because it's a really useful initial connection with him that we've explored, and he's helping me learn this song for my mum's wedding, and I'm really looking forward to doing it, and it's nice to actually feel confident in my voice again.
You're just too good to be true. I can't take my eyes off of you.
So our role is connecting people, signposting them, trying to help them to connect with their local communities, trying to find activities that will give them fulfillment. So you have to get to know the people you're working with first, get to know what makes them tick, get to know what they would like to do. I picked out from our first meeting was he was interested in music, and that had been cut off from him by his diagnosis.
Bearing in mind I spent 3 years seeing maybe one person a month. It's a profound change that has really brought a bit of that old me back. I'm reconnecting with my music. I have a love for something again. I have a passion again. And I have people in my life that I enjoy spending time with. I feel like I can have a life again.
Now that I've found you, stay and let me love you, baby. Let me love you. You're just too good to be true.
There you go.
That's fun to perform that one. I enjoy that. I really do.
So I'm a young person's community connector with Young Devon and with Wellbeing Exeter, and it looks like a whole bunch of things. So working in the schools with young people that have been referred to us, working with them one-to-one to meet them where they're at basically, and just encourage them to set goals that improve their own well-being. So we tend to get referrals through schools, so young people tend to go to their well-being team or safeguarding team at school, and they will then refer them on to us. We do have referrals from a wider range of people than that, like social care and alternative provision.
When I was first referred to Rachel, I had a racial discrimination incident back at school. And since I met her, it's been a blast, because usually I wouldn't really go out much. So if I hadn't met her, I wouldn't know that much about here, because I'd just be staying at home. I moved from Zimbabwe to Exeter recently, and honestly it was very terrifying, and it was a massive culture shock. We've been talking, she's been giving me support. She actually helped me with she helped me find to go write my CV, because I'm looking for a job and I didn't know the first thing about writing a CV. And she's introduced me to all these places, and she's been looking for places for me to go to for social events and whatnot. I've actually made 2 new friends because of her. At first when I came here, I just saw it as, oh my gosh, what am I doing here? I'm so scared. How am I going to tackle all of this? But now it's just a second home now, open to more possibilities and more memories and experiences, kind of like that.
I think I see a difference when young people have tried a new group or a new club or a new hobby, and that begins to build their world a bit wider and a bit broader, and just seeing that their world gets a bit bigger, which is really nice. And then from that their resilience kind of increases, because they they've tried something new and the world hasn't fallen apart, and they've made some friends hopefully, and they've realised that they actually are capable of way more than they first thought. There's a perception that young people are not interested in their own well-being and not interested in the places that they live, but actually we are meeting lots of young people who have a passion for Exeter as a city, and they want to contribute to it. They want to grow up here and get all that they can from it. They want to meet other people their age, they want to meet other people that are older and younger, and they want to enjoy Exeter for all that it has for them. And so I think as a team we're passionate about connecting them to those things that the city offers for them.
I'm community connector, but just under Home for Ukraine scheme. It's meaning I support all Ukrainian refugees in Exeter. Now it's looking everything professional, but from start it was just people try to help each other.
February 24 start war in Ukraine, and for this day we wake up so early with my whole family, and we think about we need so fast escape from Kiev. My mom tell me about we need maybe move because it's so dangerous here, because a lot of bomb put in all country. Found one so nice family. It's so young family, and she's pregnant. We come in house. First time we just can relax. Anastasia for next day come for our house. I think here we don't have help. We think maybe we stay here. We think maybe we stay here alone. And she come, she tell, you don't need worried. Here have a lot of Ukrainian people, and you can, if you want, you can come here in this cafe, and here have a lot of Ukrainian people, and they say they have same problem. They know about war as well, and they can understand you. Now we rent a house. Anastasia can help me found a job. I working in a beauty salon. I doing nails, and I very like this job. Yeah. And my mom now work in a hotel. She cleaner, but it's better because she have money.
I'm very happy when I see these changes in these people. They coming with one face, but after a couple of weeks, months, I see absolutely different person, and I'm proud to be a well-being team. And it's nice when we can help each other, and I'm very happy to be on this role. And it's very important to give people something, and it's as well, it's working with my well-being as well. I feel more happy because I'm doing something important.
There's somebody comes and calls for me. I don't see anybody during the day. But since I met Susie, it's helped a lot.
Anybody want a lift?
So we spend a lot of time just like, you know, sort of going out and about and just sort of, you know, having a coffee, looking at his local area and what sort of groups there might be around there. Sometimes it's very, very small steps to encourage someone to attend something for the first time, to venture somewhere new, to push out of their comfort zone that little bit. And that, once they've done that once or twice, that can make a big difference.
Community connecting is linked to community building, and this is activity in every locality across the city whereby people are encouraged to take action together to address the things that matter most to them in the areas that they live.
Cranbrook is part of Wellbeing Exeter, and Cranbrook is one of the newest towns in the area. We're only 12 years old. We build a lot of houses, but community builder is not building houses, it's purely about building communities. It's the cost of living crisis happening and taking place. And we needed a food hub and we needed a food bank.
I'd heard about the Community Builder programme from the Belonging to Cranbrook Facebook page. And then the door went one day and Andrew was standing there, introduced herself. And she started talking about the food bank that they were trying to get off the ground. I'd never been involved in a food bank or anything like that previously, so I was quite shocked really at how really urgently we need it, to be honest. I think the key thing for a volunteer's role is that it's the welcoming part really, that the amount of people that come here really embarrassed to ask for help, and we try and make them feel that it's quite comfortable really to come in and take what you need to be able to survive for the next week. I've found a massive difference from moving down from a big city where literally nobody talks to each other, to friendly neighbourhoods, people wanting to engage in what's going on. And I think without that sort of community builder programme, that wouldn't really happen.
Community Builder is about listening to the residents. Our role isn't at all to sort of do things for the community, it's with the community at the community's own pace. I'd heard about Gradison Court and about this room and that it was unused since COVID, and could I come along and see what wanted to happen here. So we got some little posters together and invited all the residents of Gradison Court to come along to a morning where myself and the council were here, and we just talked to the residents and said, what would you like to see happen in this room? This is your room, what would you like to see happen? And they said they would like to see a coffee morning. So I helped them to decide on what day and what time they would like that to happen. And then I came along and helped to facilitate it so that they could then take it forward. When I first came, you wouldn't see anyone outside. They were all shut in their flats. So actually to see them come into this room and interact together and have a laugh and a joke, it is heartwarming.
It's such a social event for me because I look forward to coming. I feel happy. It gives me a lot of pleasure.
And the community building provides the social networks that individuals can connect into. In the third part of Wellbeing Exeter is physical activity organisers who work with individuals to help them overcome their barriers to moving more.
As community physical activity organisers, we work in a very similar way to the builders. At the heart of it, we want to get more people moving, and so we work with individuals to find out what it is, what sort of movement, what sort of activity they would like to do, and then we try and connect them into those groups. But without groups to connect them into, that can't happen. So we also work with groups to form new opportunities. So when we're working with those individuals, we've then got places that we can send them to be active.
I've met new friends through it, definitely. Oh gosh, friends that you would never meet without this group. Ed has made a huge impact on my life and a lot of my neighbours as well.
Wellness can mean so many different things, that people feel comfortable, that they feel safe, that they feel part of society, that they're not marginalised and that they're not scared.
It's all about then kind of improving the well-being and supporting those individuals to thrive, those places to thrive as well. And that kind of connectedness, we know that improves people's outcomes.
Programme-wide, we have lots of networks and links across the city. We have a lot of insight. We've got these 3 different roles that hold amazing insight and knowledge of what residents need, what's going on in those local communities, what do individuals really need, especially coming out of COVID. And we're able to look at that and those emerging themes together with partners, but also create new networks and work with other partners across the city to really step back and say, okay, how can we best use this insight and data to create strategic change.
Inclusive Exeter is working with Wellbeing Exeter, and they are like a kind of partnership. Inclusive Exeter is actually like helping people. Simple way is helping people to take it out from their home and take it out from their loneliness and become a part of the community.
The whole objective is for people to have better access to activities and events that make their lives much more fulfilling. Let's face it, there's a lot of families that are, this isn't to do with diversity. We've got struggling families that have always lived in England, and you know, we've seen a rise in food banks, we've seen a rise in community kitchens, we've seen a rise in soup kitchens. So I think Inclusive Exeter actually has given me the opportunity to really reach out and help a lot of vulnerable individuals and vulnerable families.
Connection helps an individual with their own well-being. So by default, that has to help within a community, doesn't it? Because if it's good for one, it's good for all.
And Wellbeing Exeter is one of the most successful programmes that there is in terms of getting people active, in terms of encouraging people to improve their lifestyles. So the people they work with health inequalities, if they can't be helped through physical activity, they can be helped in a number of other ways, whether that's through a community connector or a community builder.
We all know, certainly at Exeter City Community Trust, how important it is to be socially interactive with other people. If you are isolated or lonely, or you are inside for long periods of time, even just to take part in small bits of informal activity and bringing people together, you can see huge health benefits that will then benefit all parts of the city.
Social isolation is one of the key things which drives physical and mental health inequalities, and that's what we have often seen in general practice, those inequalities. And if we can try and encourage and help people to become more connected within the community, then that's going to improve their well-being and by default improve their physical and mental health.
Every month we're getting 64, 65 referrals on average from the GP surgery at the moment, and we know that that's relieving pressure on the local GP services, which at the moment is really essential for the NHS. And long term, obviously that has an impact in terms of the amount of money that the NHS will spend on future operations or doctor's appointments, and if we can free that time up, then I think we're doing our job really well.
So Wellbeing Exeter is almost unique, I think, because you've got NHS funding originally, you've got Sport England coming in there, you've got a county council, you've got a city council, you've got amazing delivery teams that are based not within one of those sort of statutory organisations which would normally be the model, but hosted by a voluntary community sector organisation. So it kind of brings together the best of all the resources of all those organisations, and that allied with the individual brilliance of some of the lead practitioners in this area and the ideas that they've had to bring this together. So we've got actually a real system change moment going on here.
CoLab is a multi-agency wellbeing hub in the heart of the city. What CoLab offers is the opportunity to be innovative in its approach to alliance models. So an alliance means enabling people to put aside their competing agendas, come together for one common goal, which is, in this case, is to address the entrenched inequalities that we see in Exeter and enable it to be a flourishing, inclusive city.
Wellbeing Exeter is the means by which we ensure that as the city grows, that it grows in an inclusive way, so that every member of the city, every resident, has the same opportunities to excel and take advantage of all of the great things that happen in the city, with the aim of trying to make sure that nobody or no community gets left behind.
Significant evidence now that tells us that actually if we invest in communities, individuals and communities, to build their social capital, then the city itself will flourish and actually their economy thrives as well.
You know, this is our Exeter 2040 vision. We want to be the most active city in the country. We want to be an analytical city. We want to be an inclusive city. We want to build a great cultural offering. And some of these things, they're not achievable by the standard practices. If you just leave a county or a city council or a voluntary sector or private business, they're not going to come together and achieve these goals individually. So that's where Wellbeing Exeter is the key foundation for this that we can build on, so that it brings people together to work in partnership, to collaborate, share ideas and best practice, and really drive us forward so that Exeter can go from a city that was surviving in COVID to a city that thrives in the future.